In this video, I want to explore the shadow side of femininity, an often overlooked yet deeply influential force in human psychology and culture. I refer to this as the Baphomet archetype, a symbolic representation linked to what we encounter in altered states of consciousness, particularly under the influence of psychedelics. These visions suggest that Baphomet is an expression of our superconscious, a deeper layer of collective awareness. So what is the shadow feminine? At its core, it embodies the manipulative, toxic aspects of feminine energy. It thrives not on psychological influence and covert control, often manifesting as attempts to suppress or redirect others' fertility and reproductive potential. This archetype is not about women, but it's about a specific behavioral pattern, one that weaponizes femininity for destructive or self-serving ends. The shadow feminine operates through social, cultural, and even legal systems. For example, the biased family court system often reward deceitful behavior by toxic females. Cultural encouragement for women to pursue higher education, particularly STEM fields, or to prioritize careers over family, can also be seen as societal expressions of this archetype. These patterns may appear empowering on the surface, but they so mask a deeper function to suppress fertility and disrupt traditional pair bonding. For men, one of the most damaging expressions of the dark feminine is paternity fraud. In countries like France, DNA testing of a child requires a mother's consent, which protects potential dishonesty and limits a father's rights, a system skewed to favour deception of females. Myths and religious stories also reflect these dynamics. In the story Snow White, the evil queen seeks to steal Snow White's fertility, symbolised by the poison apple. The prince's kiss represents the restoration of her fertility and her liberation from envy and manipulation. The story of Adam and Eve also offers another metaphor. Here the serpent represents the dark feminine, tempting Adam into a decision that ultimately cost him his immortality, a symbol for reproductive success and genetic legacy. This myth teaches us a lesson about mate selection. A man who can see through feminine deception is more desirable, as it suggests strong mental acuity and resilience, traits essential for survival and fatherhood. The Medusa myth also follows a similar pattern. Men who recklessly approach Medusa are turned into stone, a metaphor for being emotionally or sexually paralyzed by the dark feminine. Perseus, however, uses his shields to reflection to defeat her, symbolizing the power of self-awareness and reflection to overcome toxic forces. As a reward, he wins Andromeda, a symbol of healthy, fertile femininity. So what's the purpose of these narratives? They function as archetypal guides for behavior, particularly for males seeking to navigate relationships and choose suitable mates. They also serve to help women recognize and reject unworthy partners. These myths are not just tales, they're psychological maps encoded with wisdom about human motivation, fertility, and survival. In conclusion, the shadow side of femininity centers around the manipulation of fertility, either by suppressing it in others or redirecting it for personal gain. Understanding these archetypes helps us make sense of the more complex social dynamics and sheds lights on hidden forces within the collective psyche.